Confusing time at Gateshead, but what does it all mean going forward? Yes, hello everyone, good evening and welcome to a new video on the channel. It's been a bit of a while since last did a talk video, but I think given the current situation regarding my team, Gateshead FC, I think we've probably just got to really, haven't we? And you may have seen, obviously today, the club did release a statement effectively doing what I've been calling for and what quite a few people have been calling for over the last few weeks really, and that is a little bit more clarity over what was happening with regards to this takeover. Would it happen or wouldn't it happen? And to cut a long story short and to just maybe get to the main points of what is a bit of a word salad of a statement. So basically the takeover has fallen through. There is officially a new chairman at Gateshead Football Club, that being the person that was the vice chairman for the last few years, which is of course Bernard McWilliams. The process with regards to getting contracts extended, players signed on for next season, that kind of thing, that's underway. So that is kind of what I can sort of see from the statement. But what it does probably mean is that we are probably going to have to continue on the current budget that the club is on, which of course isn't ideal, and I think I've maybe said a couple of times, probably won't keep us in the kind of position that we are in forever, but I think at the same time maybe like we'll be a bit more restricted with regards to the sort of players that we can sign. I think over the last couple of years or so, I've maybe seen more players from like down south and that kind of thing be phased in, but maybe we will have to maybe revert back to what it was like under the infamous Joe Calla season, and obviously the years that were in the National League North, where you see us maybe having to recruit more locally based players. I really don't know. I could be there could be an element of truth in that. It could be total bullshit, but I think it's an interesting time. It's a turbulent time. But and it is still early days, and it is important to remember that. But it does maybe leave you with quite a lot of questions as to why certain things were allowed to happen. Now we're obviously a few hours after the Southend game on Monday, in which we missed out on the National League playoffs. I think after I'd uploaded my particular video from that game, there was an interview put out with club captain Greg Ollie. Now, of course, Greg has missed all but 2 games this season. Obviously, the 2 that he did play in being at the very, very start of the season. Obviously, in the second one, he rather unfortunately picked up a pretty horrendous broken leg, and he just gave 1 or 2 home truths with regards to what is going on at the football club, and I honestly don't think he covered absolutely all of it. But I think the reason for that is because there was probably just too much to cover, and he maybe just couldn't think of absolutely everything off the top of his head as it would have been in that particular moment. But it's just a totally chaotic time at Gateshead Football Club just now, and I personally don't think that this statement really gives a great deal of answers. I think it maybe to a degree confirms some suspicions that we've had for quite a long time in regards to this takeover. why we were being left in the dark so long. Like, surely something wasn't right, especially when, in Greg's own words, it was going to be the quickest takeover in the history of football. I think that kind of thing being said in itself is a real red flag, to be quite honest. It's a bit like when you get, I don't know, say you get some like total that someone totally unknown from overseas takes over at, let's just say, Whitby Town for argument's sake, then they go in saying that they're going to get them to the Premier League and that kind of thing. I think when things like that are being said, I think like there and then there's red flags, and you should maybe approach it with quite a lot of caution. Why the takeover fell through, I've honestly no idea, and I think we do need a bit more clarity over that. I'm not going to lie, because I think originally when word was getting out there about it, I think people were excited about it, and I think they thought it could maybe be a bit of a new chapter. But I think when you find out things are happening, such as the like the potential new owner going into the dressing room when he doesn't even own the club, and essentially telling players who's part of his plans, who isn't part of his plans, the sort of players he's intending to bring in. You've got Yeovil's manager coming out in an interview, and when he was asked why Frank Noble didn't play for them, and obviously he'd obviously been approached by someone that obviously at that time didn't own Gateshead Football Club and still doesn't own Gateshead Football Club. It's just been complete and utter chaos, really, hasn't it? Whether the current board are looking to potentially sell a club on, and are looking to potentially sell a club on. I don't know. I really don't. For all we know, the club could be up for sale. It might not be up for sale. But the cut and dry of it is, if Gateshead Football Club wants to get in a football league, and most importantly wants to sustain in the football league, the current budget just isn't really fit to do that. I think realistically, we've got a bottom end of the National League table budget at best. Maybe even a National League North one or something like that. But even then, you look at some of the clubs in the leagues below. I'd love to know how many of them you could probably say that are probably financially better off than Gateshead. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Bernard, Tony Carter, people like that have absolutely got the club's best interests at heart. But again, I think we all live in the real world, and I think while this whole thing has been, it has been really frustrating. I think at least we know at least where we're at, and what that will lead to. I think, I just think this whole takeover thing, I think it really has. When you think of it now, I think it has, if anything, proved a massive burden on the football club, and it should never have been allowed to spiral the way it has. But it's frustrating. It really is. But ultimately now we've just got to move on, and if this is the way that it's going to be, then so be it. But I'm just obviously the way the second half of the season went, it does hurt, and I think everyone at the football club knows it quite simply wasn't acceptable, and there is still things that need going over at this football club. Obviously, we now know that we're not going to be taken over by this consortium. As I said, I think there's still more to come with this whole story, and what the plan is going forward into next season. But I think now that obviously we know we're not going to be in the playoffs, I think we need to be proactive as a football club. I think we need to, just maybe say sooner rather than later which players are staying for next season, which players are on the way. just get the ball rolling with recruitment early, whether that's no matter what it is on a budget front, just get ahead of the game as much as we possibly can. So yeah, it's been a difficult time being a Gateshead fan of late. I think there's a couple of off the pitch matters that need sorting. I'm like you call me what you want when I say this, but over the last 3 seasons, we've been howling at the moon over how many injuries we've been getting and that kind of thing. I personally think a proper investigation as to why that is needs to happen. Is it just a case of we're signing players that are too injury prone? Is it something to do with that 3G pitch that they're training on? Whatever it needs looking into, because it's just getting absolutely ridiculous now. And you look at it over the course of this season, I think there's over 50 odd players over the course of the season were registered as Gateshead players, whether that be as permanent deals on loan. That is just far too many players to ever stand a chance of success, because it's just too high a turnover. So you can't keep your team settled. You can't keep everybody happy. So I think regardless of anything, this whole season has to be a learning curve for absolutely everyone. And I think next season, whether we're in the same kind of position as we are now in the table, whether we're a few places further down, if we surprise everyone and go a few places further up, I think we have to show that overall we are going to be better off as a football club for it. We need to recreate a more harmonious environment around the football club, and just give our damnedest in every game. You know what I mean? Because I think fans, Gateshead fans, aren't stupid. They can see when a team is absolutely busting a gut and leaving it all out there. And I think if that is the case, then even if we get beat, we're not going to be disappointed with results, of course, but and obviously not too disappointed in the team or the management itself. But as I've said a few times, I think there was just too many instances this season where you couldn't really hand on heart say that. But I think my personal plan now is, now that I've had a few days to think about it, I think we are still waiting for answers, but I'm not going to turn my back on a football club or anything like that. I think, yes, I will have my opinions, and I'll never be afraid to express my opinions, especially when on this kind of platform, that kind of thing. But I think maybe over the course of the summer I will finally sign up to the Gateshead FC soul, because any way I can make a difference in a positive way, even if it is just totally minuscule, I'll try to do that. But yeah, it's left people with a lot of questions, and I think if we get maybe one or two more answers over the next few weeks or so, we'll obviously do videos to respond to those. I mean, obviously, on a personal level, my season will end on Sunday, the 25th of May, and regardless of anything, I will be going on a 2-week break from making videos at that point, after I've uploaded the video of my final game of this particular season, because I need a break from making videos. I really do. But obviously after that 2-week gap, there will obviously be scope for me to do some more videos, and if anything does happen in that spell, then obviously when I come back I will have a chat about it. But where we're at the minute is that there is no takeover. It's looking like it could be a reduced budget for next season, but by the sounds of it, the process is underway for the process is underway for recruitment and that kind of thing. Who will be the manager of Gateshead Football Club next season. Will it still be Carl Magny? It'll be someone else. It's all a bit up in the air at the moment, but hopefully in time, like things will look a bit clearer, and like before long we can put this season behind us and start to look forward to next season and beyond. But that is that for this video, and I'll be back tomorrow, and it is a trip to Scotland and to the Scottish capital, Edinburgh, and we're off to Hearts versus Motherwell, so it'll be good to see the Well again. First time personally I'll watch Well under Michael Wimmer, so excited to see that. So until then, take care, cheers for watching, see you later.